So often, like, I feel like I do that when I go fishing. So like if I get home, it's been kind of a day and I'm like, do you mind? Like my wife is amazing in that way. And I'm like, are you cool if I just go fish for like an hour, maybe 2, maybe 3, But I mean, last week my buddy Quinn and I called him at like 5. It's like, dude, it doesn't get dark till 9. Let's get the raft. Let's go throw it on the river and let's just float for like 2 hours. Nobody will be on the river. Stoneflies have been coming off. It should be sick. And it was sick. But you're like, to do those things for me, when you aren't a retired person, you are working a bunch, you're having to steal time from things. It feels like, And so, but it's like just that concept. I just so often, I feel like I'm on the river and I'm like, this blesses me and I love it so much. Or if I'm hunting and it's like, I'm in the mountains or I'm camping and I'm like, God, I love this. And I'm stealing time from somebody else. When you have a family back home or you have a business back home or you have your job or whatever it is.
Little John are walking through the forest, laughing back and forth at what the other one has to say.
Welcome to the RuckList Podcast. We said that already, guys. We've been just talking crap, I guess, for 2 minutes and 29 seconds. But Tyrel, it's crazy, dude. The goal. Honestly, when we started, I was like, okay, most podcasts don't make it past 10 episodes. And I'm like, okay, you start out and you go, okay, let's just do 10 episodes then and see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I think the fear I have going into effects like this next year or just at all is like, you start to feel like these guys have had to hear the same crap out of my mouth over and over again. And you start to find yourself really not interesting, like when you have to listen to your own stuff, you're just I just feel bad sometimes. I'm like, I do a good job at like experiencing new things, but it feels like maybe it's like I'm chasing that same thing, which I love to chase, which is
the
just
same
like
lens,
the same outdoor thing. Like we get on, what'd you do
the lens
this week?
changes for you, but
I fished, I guess, I'm thinking about Alaska moose hunting and, I'm just like kind of a simple creature, right? Like, and it's not really, the podcast isn't about me. But I mean, as you come in and you go, what am I going to talk about? It's like, well, I did the same thing today that I've done every day. I got up this morning and I lifted weights and I went to work and I, had some good conversations about where you're hunting this year, buddy, back and forth about like what kind of pack we should buy for the Alaska trip. He's making sure I've got a pistol on my bino harness and some of that stuff. But it's like, I mean, life is fun, but it also, I'm like, it's the same stuff over and over again, But it's that idea of, they say, like, master the mundane. I mean, that's the opposite of what we want this to be. But it sometimes I feel bad that people have to listen to me talk. So thank you guys for being there. I'm feeling sensitive to that, just sensitive to like, just that people take their time, right? And they're listening and go like, what the hell, man? You're sitting in front of a camera and it's funny to see our faces on the camera. Whoever's listening is put up with my bullshit, but like just seeing like, dude, we've been in here. My face is on there. The gray is starting to look more gray. That's where I'm at
It is
today.
getting a little more gray.
Like it's just like the gray is there and it feels more and more gray. And it's one of those like, dude, it's just wild. But dude, it's the summertime. Andrea said like, she's like, most people that do podcasts take the summers off. They take like, there's a lot of people that don't put out, the people she listens to anyway, they don't put stuff out in the summer. And I'm like, I don't really know why, but I could see why somebody would go like, it's hard when you got the family stuff going on and all that to make time to get in here, which is why we're in here at 8:00 at night.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just kind of fit it in. The summer, it just gets crazy regardless. I don't know.
Right.
And so I see like taking a break. Most people probably plan it out and get a bunch of stuff recorded ahead of time, and maybe that
thing we started out with about
easier.
being good at it, right?
And so maybe at some point there's a little less of a grind, but it's like I'm proud of that kind of grind a little bit.
Totally.
And obviously to echo your first sentiment is like thanks to anyone who listens to the bullshit,
sure, dude.
right? And like because it is fun to sit in here and we joke about a year in and we don't know shit, and it's like I really feel like we don't know shit. Maybe someday we'll get better and we'll do more and I guess really show that appreciation. But it's fun to It's been a cool little grind.
Yeah.
And I think kind of just learning it from not knowing any of this world and
Nothing, dude.
and still not, and just kind of enjoying that too. I think there's a part of us that don't get too wrapped up into it and just kind of like,
Yeah, and
it'll
that's
be what it'll
totally
be.
It's just,
It's really fun. To, I guess, ultimately not think about it. It kind of goes back burner, right? Just life takes over more.
Yeah.
Just priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities
Yeah,
just
I think
take
that's
over
the
and
trick,
then
dude,
normal.
about people that do a podcast. Like, if your whole gig is like, your whole life is, I'm going to do a podcast, which is super cool. I appreciate the guys.
Yeah.
You know, Modern Wisdom. I forget that guy's Chris something. I mean, there's dudes that I think that they've said it like a podcast is my profession, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to be amazing at this format of information or whatever, how people of media. But for those of us that like, this is a fun thing we get to do as part of another company and pull it out of lives. And it's funny. So, just so you know, I'm not lying. I'd made some notes about what I want to talk about today. And
I love it.
And so for me, one thing I wanted to touch on today was just this idea of stealing time to chase dreams.
Okay.
Right.
That's what.
And so often, like, I feel like I do that when I go fishing. So like if I get home, it's been kind of a day and I'm like, do you mind? Like my wife is amazing in that way. And I'm like, are you cool if I just go fish for like an hour, maybe 2, you know, maybe 3, you know? But I mean, last week my buddy Quinn and I called him at like 5. It's like, dude, it doesn't get dark till 9. Let's get the raft. Let's go throw it on the river and let's just float for like 2 hours. Nobody will be on the river. You know, stoneflies have been coming off. It should be sick. And it was sick. But you're like, you know, to do those things for me, when you aren't a retired person, you are working a bunch, you're having to steal time from things. It feels like, you know? And so, but it's like just that concept. I just so often, I feel like I'm on the river and I'm like, this blesses me and I love it so much. Or if I'm hunting and it's like, I'm in the mountains or I'm camping and I'm like, God, I love this. And I'm stealing time from somebody else. You know, when you have a family back home or you have a business back home or you have your job or whatever it is. And so, dude, I don't know, like you've had to steal a lot of time lately because your kids are young, right? And your family's busy and family life's busy. You're back in school now. You want to be doctor someday or some version of that, depending on how long you can handle that, school thing. But dude, like, tell me what it feels like, you know?
I think that idea of stealing time is big on the mind right now. Mm-hmm. And then you segueing into that just made me think of like, yeah, you're just taking it from somewhere. You're burning that, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know what it is now, 5 years ago, 6 years ago or something, we sat at a table and you're just like, you know, you can only have so much pie.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh, but I can fill my pie's big, you know, like
sure.
I can just do anything.
Yeah.
And it is like everything it takes time on the back end.
It does. And I have a really
or not on the back end, but it takes it from somewhere, right? Where are we taking it? And chasing dreams is tough because in the middle of like, I'm chasing dreams, right?
Yeah.
And I've always kind of done that. And, you know, I get to say this a lot right now, but it's like, I have a badass wife who lets me do that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain myself, right? Like people are like, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. Right. But it's like, I have this dream.
Going to school, you mean? Or just
yeah. Just like, what is the plan?
like why?
And it's like, I don't know what the plan
you quit your job
is.
and you're like, I'm gonna go back to school.
Yeah.
I dig it though.
Yeah.
But you hang out with kids a ton.
This summer is focused around that, you know, just basically just kind of the last summer before they're both in school, which I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Like still got a year, but we're almost to like the, you know, 7:05, both going to go on a bus and, you know, pick them up
it's
later.
Wonderful.
And then,
You're sipping a cup of coffee and you're just like, get on the bus, kids.
yeah. And so also that time scares me a little bit too, of like, there's a piece of what I have now or what I had, you know, the last couple of years that maybe I missed some of. Right. And
Always.
So here it's just like, okay, well, I have this summer essentially.
Yeah. Well, and you're always stealing. Like I think a lot about our buddy Casey, who's gone now, right? And he was on the podcast, but like when we were talking about him going on he went on elk hunt with the Montana Knife Boys and Jason Ellsworth and those guys were out there, and he was just like knowing he doesn't have that much time left on this earth.
Yeah.
And going like, I feel selfish going on this elk hunt, right?
Yeah.
and really just that crazy. And I still haven't quite figured out like what my answer would really be. I told him like, you got to go. Right. But it's like, is he taking a memory for himself? Can he take that memory with him? We don't know. Right. Or should he make a memory with his kids that they can take with them? Right.
Yeah.
And so it was just that balance of like, do something for myself that feels like an incredible experience before I die, or, give my kids one more 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
With them that they, that is special in itself, but you're always stealing time. And when your time's limited and there's a back end to it.
Yeah.
Right. Like then it gets really, really real.
Yeah. Then that answer's that, like you said, it's hard to answer that.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And
yeah,
I don't know if there's a right answer, and the people around you would tell you made the right answer. I think no matter what,
you made the right choice there. I mean, I think that you can't I think as long as you're not wasting time, right? Because there's like the third option, which is
yes. I guess
always
that is
pick
true.
on sports, and I feel bad because you guys
dichotomy.
but there's you could just watch fucking soccer all day long.
Yeah, but then again, it's like, what if that is
I know
that piece that brought you
Those guys
joy
would say
on
you went
this
fishing,
earth, right?
you know what I
Because
mean?
at the
By
point,
yourself.
it's like, what are we here for, right?
I know. I don't
and,
know. I don't
and
actually
so,
know the answer.
Yeah, that's so you're taking it somewhere, right? And then whenever you're selfishly, whether you have that expiring time, well, we're all expiring, but if you have that clock in front of you or not, but it's still like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not going to have a 7-year-old again. You're not going to have a 7-year-old ever again.
No. I mean, you were just like, when you got here, I'm like doing squats with Logan, at 14.
Yeah.
And
going into a freshman year of football.
Freshman year of football. He had a
You don't
conflict
get that.
in the weight room today. Some kid
Okay.
was like, he's like, hey, spot me on this. And the kid's like, man, I'm not here for that. And then luckily a kid that I coached in the throws had his back. He was like, come on, little trainer,
Yeah.
And so it's cool to see him, but now he's mad, so he wants to spot more because he's like,
get him a little fire.
motivated by that, that little piece.
But those experiences that you're going to get to be a dad, I don't know. It's so, and then in modern day, right? We could go down a whole thing of that, but it's like, it's tough to find that balance of, what am I doing with my 24 hours and where am I spending that?
I burn it hard.
Yeah.
And I wear I'm burnt right now. This is a blast. This is an energy giving thing, but we got some big projects we're trying to work on kind of outside of the work thing, some investments we made that need remodeled. So I'm like, tool belts have been on the last 5-6 days or a couple weeks, but it's like I went bear hunting with Logan for 8 days, come back, just blast right into work, then fishing for 2 days that I already had planned. And just, I always do this. It's a little bit like I told you this before. It's like starting a bar fight, but with 4 different dudes. And I do it to myself all the time. I'm always backing myself into a corner, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, start shit. No, F you, you know what I mean? And no, you know what? Screw you too, man.
Yeah.
But it's just in work and projects and kind of goals I want to reach in life too. And sometimes you just go the only way to do this is I'm gonna have to fight 4 dudes at one time. Sometimes you gotta, I've said this maybe on the podcast, but sometimes in the business life and other things, you have to eliminate one. You gotta pull out a gun. She'd be like, well, you're dead. I just can't. You know what I mean? I can't handle 3, so I got to just kill one off. And I've done that in the business sense where it's you can only have, I think at one point we had 6 different companies, and I'm trying to be me to all of them, and it didn't work. But so often I think to kind of, because I have so much joy in getting to kind of explore all those things. But I do find myself that I'll start one too many fights at a time. I do that with hunting tags. Where it's I can hunt 4 freaking bull elk in a year archery. You know what I mean? And it's 36 days straight later. I'm not like these guys that do the TV shows.
I know. Yeah.
I just am not.
The reality is
I don't know how
levels
they do it,
to it. We always talk about, right? But
yeah. I don't know how. I know, I'm not going to say any names, but I know that some of them have a buddy that's hey, I got an elk. He's in this drainage. Get over here.
But it's still just a lot of time commitment.
But if you're going to show up to a new piece of public ground and go, I got to find the elk, I got to figure this place out. I don't even know where I'm camping. I don't know. There's guys that are way better than me that could definitely do that. I can't. But I do it all the time, man. And so, but yeah, I mean, that's another version of stealing time. But what's your time? What else are you going to do with it? Right.
Well, I think ultimately, you like those fights.
I do.
It's
I
like-
like having my back against the wall.
It's like the little redneck in the bar.
Dude, for sure.
He's like,
oh yeah, those little guys love to start shit, dude.
They
That's
want
why I
to-
hate
they
going to
want
like the
to
Grizzly
start
Road
those
to watch
fights.
concerts.
I know.
Every
But
time,
it's like,
bro.
They those and you're, I don't know. It's like
Well, and for those little guys,
you
it's a
cuss
win-win.
yourself, but it's like, okay, I'm here again because
Yeah.
I obviously want to be here.
Obviously,
And
wanted
it's
to.
shitty. This moment right here is shitty, and it's kind of like Brandon. We were talking about Brandon about running
Yeah.
his second 100, right? And it's
Yes.
like, fuck. You think like, oh, it'll be easier. I know what I'm getting into, but then that starting line's like, oh fuck, I know what I gotta do.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna suck.
Oh, dude.
Like, I know exactly now how bad this is gonna suck.
Yes. Yes.
And yet now when you take off in that starting line, it is easier. You are more conditioned, your practice, and then
Yeah.
it gets easier and easier and easier. And the second one isn't, you're
Yeah.
still learning that process, but you're however umpteenth business, right? Like
Yeah.
you
I mean, the Olympic trials were that way for me. Like that fourth Olympic
yeah.
year.
Yeah.
You know, I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Little driver.
this is going to suck. Like,
Yeah.
I know it's going to suck. I'm going to get hurt. You know, I did everything I could, and still it's just injuries come, especially when you're 36. So now that feels young. But at the time, I felt old. Everything was breaking.
And you were trying to compete at the highest level of a
yeah. Dude, you know
physical
what was a
sport.
trip,
I mean,
dude? The last time in 2016, I was tying my shoes on, kind of for the first real kind of practice of that season, you know? And I had this moment of, let me get this right. It was the first time I was tying on a pair of throwing shoes for that year.
Yep.
And it's a trip when you don't, very often you don't get to recognize your last first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you're getting ready
Especially
to have
for you.
your last first with
Yeah.
Nathan. This will be your last first time your son gets on a bus or one of your kids gets on a bus to go to school,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's hard because you don't know that they're your last first time for something, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, this is our last, that was the last first time doing our 52nd episode or whatever. You know what I mean? So our last first year the novelty of this will never come again, you know?
Yep.
But it's interesting, and it's something I kind of started to look for in life is like, it's the last first, right? It's the last first time. You know, my daughter's got a new boyfriend. It's like, you know, I've never seen her hold hands with a boy till like this weekend, 4th of July party. But it's the last first time getting to see that, right?
Yeah.
It had a trippy moment, dude. I don't even know what to think about this. But like we're sitting on the couch and like she's a snuggly girl. She loves her daddy.
Yeah.
But she's there and I'm not paying attention. I'm here, she's in the middle and her boyfriend's on the other side. And he's the best. He's a great kid.
Yeah.
But like I'm like rubbing her shoulder just like I do. And I'm talking to my buddies and I'm just like, you know, having a nice tea. And I look over and he's rubbing her other shoulder. And I'm just like,
It's my shoulder.
that's my girl, boy. You know what I mean? That's my job. And dude, it is crazy to think like
Yeah.
that's going to be somebody else's job. Like it'll never not be my job. But the majority of her affection and love is going to come from another man
Oh yeah.
here in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what I mean?
You.
And it was a crazy
That's
moment.
a
I
trip.
looked over and his
That's
hands
a
on
trip
one
to
shoulder.
see it. Yeah, in kind of a real time painting
Dude,
for you.
And the dads out there are daughters, man. It'll give you tears. Like it's just like I was laying in bed, like going, "What was that? You know, what just happened to me? Like, is it like she's moving away from, and she's going to do her own thing? And thank God, like I mean, I got home today and like they're eating dinner, and she's like, big hug, and when you get done, can we finish watching that movie? Yeah, for sure, right? But I mean, even, like yesterday, we were going to watch the show. We were going to watch this movie. Like, we're a family that we don't have enough time to watch. Speaking of stealing time, it'll take us like me and Andrew, it'll take us 5 or 6 nights to watch. We're watching that Project Hail Mary. Have you seen that?
No, we don't watch. I don't watch shows.
Yeah, you don't watch. Yeah, you can make fun of me because I make fun of the sports thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's like it's we're on like night 4 or 5 of trying to watch this show. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we'll watch it in bed, and Andrea falls asleep in like 3 minutes. So I'm like constantly like covering her eyes like this and seeing if she's like, I'm still awake. I'm like, okay, I just checking. Yeah. And then as soon as she falls asleep, I'm like, boom, YouTube, fishing videos.
You wait for the Twitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She does like a leg twitch, and I'm like, all right, I can switch now. But anyway, dude, like,
Yes.
last first times, but like, kind of time, dude. And just like that idea of stealing time and just kind of backing yourself into a corner, because so often for our listeners that are trying to get out and do that adventure piece of life, and just kind of want to dig in just a little for a second, Tyrel, on like that emotional side of like you're taking something from your family when you do that. And I completely think it's worth it, because it serves the soul of men and women to get outside, and get into the outdoors. Right. But, recognizing that relationship with time, kind of calling it out with your family too. I tend to do that. Like if hunting season, as it's approaching, I'm just like, we got to get some time. We get some dinners. We got to go out and do something fun, and kind of warn them like, hey, Dad's going to be leaving. You know what I mean? And so, but then again, now I'm stealing like the rest time, and I'm exhausted going into, you know what I mean? Into that, because I'm trying to squeeze in more. Can I get you another beer?
Good right now.
I'm good right now. Trash can of them.
I got my next one picked out.
Dude, these little.
You're going to call me out on camera. I'm not drinking my beer fast enough.
Sorry, dude. They're delicious. They're so good. It was a long day, Bubba. It was a long weekend. So anyway, you're taking time for your family. You're going to say something there.
Well, I think we were going to say something there.
But for the listeners, and just giving them a heads up, like I'm going to be leaving town.
Well, I laughed there because that's funny, right? I could change a lot of things in my life, I think, for the positive if I gave myself heads up, or the people around me some heads up. So I just laughed, and it's like, yeah, that's probably a great technique.
Dude.
And, I still have the young kids, and they don't quite understand, I guess, the leaving on the same level as yours and time. And then, we talk about like expiration dates, right? Like you have college approaching, right? Yeah. Like your house is going to get empty, and I don't know her plans or anything, but like,
I mean, she's leaving. That girl's going to go do her thing.
100%, right? Yeah. And then the other one's not far behind that. And I'm just getting into, I'm on the first side of that, right? And so, but
like Logan's going to, like, if this football thing for him works out, and it is what it is, he'll do whatever he wants, right? But I told Andrea, I said, I got Alaska this year. I got Alaska next year. The year after that, he'll be a junior in high school. And if he does keep lifting like he is, for sure he'll have a spot on the field.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not missing a single fucking snap.
And football and hunting don't jive the best.
They don't jive.
I mean, you make it work, right?
Dude, I'll do a little 3-day trip.
Sean Mallon's a good example we have
Sunday,
on here.
Monday,
There's
Tuesday.
a lot of people we've talked to that mix the football. It's, obviously you joke about it in the sitting on the couch watching football on Sunday doesn't mix with hunting season. But like the coaching, the like if you're going to make it work, you make it work.
Well, and it takes time. Like, I mean, he requires, and I want to give, I mean, I was like made for this, and like, and if he invites me into the weight room with him, which he doesn't always, he wants to be independent and figure it out for himself.
Yeah.
But dude, I won't miss a snap, dude. I will refuse.
And it's fun because it's like you are made for that.
Yeah.
Right. And
I can't wait.
Just it's funny, and I can sit here at 35 and I feel old, right? And you laugh at me because you got that,
says that, right?
You got that decade plus on top of me.
He's like, you're
right?
so young. And I'm like, I don't feel young, dude.
and old in the sense of just like, oh man, if I could just be like Logie, like you have like this awesome secret weapon. Like if you want to change yourself physically and find yourself, what does Goggins say? Just, stand out from your peers.
Yep.
Right. It's like you have a secret weapon in your house.
Yep.
And, but also know what it's like to be that kid.
Yeah.
And like, fuck everyone.
Yeah, he really is.
And not saying he's like that or
let
anything,
young men get that way,
but I think that's a young man trait of like,
oh, yeah.
I'm figuring this shit out.
Well, he really wants that independence. He has a strong desire right now to like not have the safety nets of mom and dad around. Mm-hmm. Right. He wants to be independent, and that's totally cool. Super hard as a parent to let him go and like explore and not have that. But I think that you just said something about like the hunting season, and I had a moment 2 years ago where it was like, dude, it was probably like May. I had started like shooting my broadheads, practicing, getting dialed in. I knew my gear. I knew where I was at. I know most guys are like, yeah, well, that's pretty normal, you know?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of years where like August 15, I'm like, what broadhead am I shooting this year?
I think if a lot of guys looked in the mirror there,
they would be that way, right? They tinker.
It's tough. It's a tough
right. And so to like go to my tool cabinet or keep my, you know, my arrow drawer and all that. And like I'd pre-ordered like 8, you know what I mean? Of the Sever broadheads. That's what I was shooting that year. And just going like, dude, finally once, like past Brian didn't completely screw
future
Brian, you know what I mean? And that's something for you right now. Like, you know, you kind of go like, how do you start to get on that time thing? Like, how do you get, like you see Logan and you go, man, you've got such a gift, but 60-year-old you is going to go like, dude, you've got such a gift, you know? And reminding yourself, I wish we had a like a thing on the phone that's like, hey, a message from old me. In fact, we probably could right now with AI.
100%.
And what would he say? You know what I mean? A 70-year-old version of me and go, Brian, touch those toes, baby. Reach on down, touch those toes. You know?
I think we would
jump in and out of that shower.
I think as humans, it's just tough to see that light.
Yeah.
Because I think we get it a lot, right? And the gut feelings and it's just tough to walk through that door that's the right one. And it's definitely tough as a teenager and full of piss and vinegar. And
this is like where I wish that we had like every one of the people listening to the podcast right now sitting in front of us. Because like this would be a sick conversation.
to hear like from
all y'all about like you know where you at? What advice do you have? Because we have the gamut of friends and family listening, and it's like, how can we all be better about soaking up this? Or you know, it's everything. It's like it's holding your little girl, like as a father seeing that, and I'm like, dude, hold your daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be her man for as long as you can be her man.
Yeah.
You know, like take her on little daddy-daughter dates and do whatever. You know, it's funny. I took Courtney on a daddy-daughter date like a long time ago. And, you know, you see it on the Instagram or you see it on whatever, probably Facebook back then. But like the dads would put on a suit and they would like have their daughter go on a dress and they do like the formal thing.
Yeah.
And dude, we're sitting there and I'm like, how do you like this girl? And she's like, She's like, I don't really like the whole suit dress thing. That wasn't really her. You know, and so it was funny to like, you have to try that though. You have to figure it out, right? And it's like, oh, so what would you rather do? Like, can we go to a concert? You know, so she's become and we went 2 weeks ago to an outdoor concert, me and her just sitting, having fun. And like, that's how and thank God, because I'd way rather do that.
Yeah. It's like, this is what I want to do too, but you got to be able to
but I mean, it's
break
just
that barrier, I guess,
But dude, it's like, just again, like, you know, you have to prioritize that because that takes from something else. Right. And you're always taking from something else. Right. And it's just like I've had Logan write down his priorities because he's, he gets distracted because he's a young man. And I'm like, dude, let's talk about your priorities. Like, what are your top 4 or 5 things? Like like in a day you go, I'm going to at the very minimum spend 1% or 15 minutes of my day on this thing, you know? Yeah. Because it's like, if you can't spend 15 minutes on it, if it doesn't, 1% of your day doesn't get occupied by that thing, it's not a priority. It's just not a priority.
It's just not.
No. So it's fitness, your faith, your work, your
wife, your
kids.
So this will kind of take it somewhere, but when do you, I wish I knew the whole quote, but when do you give up on those? When's the time to shut it down? Do you know what I'm saying? Okay. So it's like, I want to be this person. I want to be this person. I want to be this person. Mm-hmm. When is it 2 days? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 weeks? Is it like, when do you shut down? It's like, I'm not that person. When is it like, that's not a priority to me. Stop putting it on my calendar to spend my 15 minutes there. Yeah. And then stop making myself suffer mentally. And then it's like,
suffer because you're not keeping the promise to yourself that you said you were going to do this thing?
Yeah, 100%. When is it like, that's just not me? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
when does
totally.
when is it your goal or your dreams?
Yeah. Well, dude, like, okay, so a good example is I have that old 1979 Ford I bought.
Yep. Love this. This is exactly
right. I'm like, I'm going to fix it up.
Yep.
Not even fancy. I'm just going to make it like pretty good. Just like my little, like, I'm going to be that guy that like
100%
old hat, dude, throw my old fly rod in the back. Like, I would love to be that. And it's been sitting there for 6 months and I've done one window, you know?
Yeah.
And shit's taken apart.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, thank God that those trucks, there's like 2 screws for everything. So it's pretty easy to put back together. But like, I just haven't. And so a buddy was like kind of interested. I'm like, yeah, I'll sell it. You know?
Are you gonna sell it?
I probably will, dude, and it's gonna break my heart.
And it's cool because I think there's that truck down the road, right? And
When
it
I'm
just
retired,
didn't
for sure,
fit, right? I don't know, and it's like I don't know. I haven't thought about this too much. So I guess we're gonna do this real time, but it's just like, is that like a quitter mentality? Or are we too wrapped up in like I don't quit, and it's like.
Yeah.
Like, because I think the best thing would be like you sell the fucking truck. And I'm not telling you that you're never going to work on it or anything. But like, I just think like if there's an opportunity to sell it, then you would.
Yeah.
And it's like you didn't quit on it, but there's like that next
Sure.
1,500 truck that's going to come down, and maybe it's going to be the one with the side steps, and it's like the one I really wanted.
I've got an old
and
Willys
it's like,
Overlander that I haven't fixed up. It's still sitting at a buddy's house. Like I've already got one.
Yeah.
You know?
So and this one's cool because this isn't life or death, but I like the concept of that. It's like, am I a lawn guy, or do I wake up early?
Do you mow
And
your
then it
lawn,
like,
right?
and then
Like,
it gets
yeah.
to like, do I run every day? Do I lift every day? Do I?
Yeah.
And then it's like, I guess when do you? When is it
But some
that
of those things make the rest of life better.
100%, and you
Right.
want to do that, but
Right.
at what point is it like?
I think
Maybe
when you
I'm
start
a lift 3 times a week kind of guy, or
no,
is that a quitter
100%.
mentality, or
No.
are you gonna find peace at yourself? Because I guess the mental warfare
Yeah.
of not checking that 15 minutes a day and being like, fuck, if you looked in the mirror, it's not my priority.
Yep.
So what am I going to do? Am I going to do this for 2 weeks? Am I going to do this for 2 years? Am I going? And then is this what we always talk about? The fear of, sitting on the couch watching TV for a week turns into 2 decades, and you don't know where life went, and it's like I'm out of shape and I
To
can't
get back up off
to
the
it.
couch and start again is so hard.
So hard.
That I have a buddy. It's funny. I looked at his Instagram the other day, and it's called Touch the Bar, right? And that was a thing I gave him, right? So I was coaching him kind of business life. And it was a thing I coached, and I was like, just touch the bar.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
I don't even care. Go out, find a weight room or put one in your garage. It doesn't matter. Just touch it, right? Just go out, grab the bar, do a set of curls or do 10 push-ups or anything. And 15 minutes later, you're going to find yourself having gotten a workout and you'd be proud of yourself. Yeah. So I will never let go of the fitness workout side.
Yeah.
But okay, but does an old 1979 Ford truck do that for me? It really doesn't.
Because you only have so many 15 minutes. You have a ton in a day, and if you really did it, you could.
I've tried
you
so
conquer
hard.
the whole world, right?
I've
If
tried.
you could master the mundane and like, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you only have so many of those 15 minutes.
Well, Andrea told me one time, she goes,
still
you can have it all. You just can't have it all right now.
Yeah.
Right. And that just rings in my ears all the time. It's like, you can do it all. Or most of it. Right. Like at one point I started taking piano lessons. I was like, I want to learn how to play the piano.
Yeah. Which I
right. It was cool. It was super fun to kind of stretch a whole muscle in my body that just had never been pulled on. Cause I freaking love music. There's nothing I love more. Especially live music, but it's just like, I just found myself where I was like, to take that hour and a half a week and go to piano practice and then practice, 3 or 4 nights a week. It just felt like too much, know? And it's just like, and what's hard for me with that is like inside of me, I know there's a version of me that exists today that had I started in 2019 with piano lessons. If I'd be almost 10 years in and I'd be able to like sit down and play a song, you know? And I've thought about that. Like I've always thought it'd be a fun Instagram page. I would never show my face because I just would be embarrassed. But like just like a painting or a sketch every day, right? And just to like see myself improve. And how many years before you'd be like this, like look at his first look like a children's drawing, and now like this is pretty cool. And I thought that would be fun to do, but where do I fit that in? Like, dude, there's days I'm so freaking busy. I like cutting my nails. The other day I was like, I need to cut my nails, and it just felt like a daunting task. I was just like, I'm tired. I'm so I can't find time.
No, 100%.
To cut my nails.
And then it's like, if you did push it,
wrong, bro?
right? And this is me, right? Like my personality is like, I'll push those nails. And then the next morning it's like, how the fuck
You're
do
gross.
I not have time?
You know what I mean?
to
Like I feel like, oh, bro, come on.
how did I not have time to cut these nails?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, a kid is a good example for like, Logan was working on his little e-bike, what used to be mine, apparently. Shithead like went and spray painted the fenders and stuff. And like, it's been it's his now.
I love it.
But like, I go out in the garage and there's like a Milwaukee drill and some socket set and some other stuff sitting out.
Yep.
And I go and I get him out of the house. I'm like, get your ass out here, you know? And I'm getting on him and he's like, okay, he doesn't. But what he didn't see is I had like my own messes. I had this parts from that Ford truck sitting around.
Yeah.
I had been working on the raft and I'm at the same time working on my drift boat, putting a new seat in there. And I got stuff laying all over the place. And I'm like, I'm no better than he is. Like I should have, like, you know, the accountability of that, right?
Tough.
And so it's like fingernails are a good example of like, you know, what you'll see, like you think you train your kids when they're young to like wipe their ass and brush their teeth and clip their nails. And you got to just like keep doing that over and over again because they forget how to wipe their ass when they're 11 all of a sudden somehow. Yep. You know, and I think we do the same thing. Like we forget how to wipe our ass, you know, at some point over and over and over again in life, to constantly retraining yourself to do the things that you need to be doing to get what you want out of life. But that comes back to that priorities thing of like, well, what are your priorities? What do you want out of your life? Because it's not, you're not quitting on anything. Like the truck is a good example of like, I feel zero emotion around quitting on it.
Yeah.
Right. But I know where you're at. Like I get where you're at. And it's like, but that would be really cool, you know? And it's like, I think that's it. It's like this limited time here. And like the piano, you know, I could be a great piano player. Probably not a great piano player, but I could read some music and play some songs, you know?
You'd be able to.
But what it did give me is an appreciation for music, because now I understand, like when I hear like a syncopated rhythm or you know what I mean? I hear notes and things, and I understand music a little better. So when I hear jazz, I'm like, oh, this is on the 8 count. Just wait, you'll see every eight notes, beats, it repeats. And so it's just kind of fun now.
Which makes the world a little bit more colorful.
Absolutely.
Right? It makes that experience just a little bit more. Where me at the poorhouse on jazz night is like, fuck this.
Yeah, well, I still can't really jive with jazz, dude. Like,
but you know what I mean? But at least it's just the world is a little more colorful for it. It's tough. And it's mostly just kind of that beating yourself up, right? And like, and we sit at different ends of this table too, of like, kind of where you're at and where we're going, right? And it's not like, and you're not continuing to climb. You're not still going up and to the right, you know, with life. Yeah. But you are up and to the right a lot higher already, you know?
Right.
You've climbed some peaks.
10 years makes a big difference.
100%. And so just that mentality, I don't know, right? It's...
Yeah. I think that the advice would be start more bar fights. You know what I mean? Get more bar fights, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like you scrap with a guy and he's like, dude, that dude's scrappy. It's like, yeah, he started a lot of fights.
Yeah.
He's been punched in the face a couple times. It's like doesn't scare him as much anymore, right? And he's not as afraid of that conflict or afraid of you know, so often now, like I'm confident to go like, sure, I'll say yes to that and I'll figure it out. Right. But you do find yourself going too far sometimes. Yeah. And you go, I'm overloaded. You know what I mean? And that's that's that stealing time piece that it was really hitting me hard, you know, of like,
and I think, you know, and I think like shakeups just have to happen, change of lives and stuff. And it's just, you know, going to school for me right now is more just like, I'm trying to take control of my calendar, my life, right? My time.
Yep. Right? I was thinking about you.
What we're investing my day. What is my ROI on my 24 hours in the day? Yeah. For my personal self.
Absolutely.
And it has nothing to do with financial. And that was the thing, you know, is like just kind of understanding like what's money and what is it worth, right?
Money is time as well.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, it's like mowing the lawn. You got enough money, you know. It's like owning this property I own. Like, you really shouldn't buy anything that's like got acreage of grass unless you got the money or the time. Either money to pay a guy to mow it or the time to take your weekend and freaking be a you end up owning like a small landscape
As I drive
company.
up and you got hundreds of gallons of water and a whole irrigation problem going on of just to water your grass that's mandatory. So it's like you can't even be me who's like, fuck it.
No, you don't have a choice. Dude. You don't have a choice.
And it's like, I guess it's like, did you know that commitment signing up for it too?
No,
or it's
I
hate
those
life also
rainbirds.
of getting slapped in the face of like,
that's just it.
I wanted this. I just didn't know this is part of the pie also.
Oh, yeah. That irrigation water starts at 5:30 or whatever, 6 in the morning. So you're like, oh, okay, ditch is on, pumps on.
Life.
Crawdad clogged the pump. Guess you're taking a pump apart at 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Cool. You know? But you get better. You get better and better at that.
Right. That's like you know,
it's for sure like a first world problem.
100%. But
and
but
nobody's hurt or anything.
it's the ideas, right? It's the where are you going?
Yep.
What's the
but
what are we stealing time for to get to the end? Like, what are we?
Yeah. Dude, and again, back to Casey, like, are we stacking up memories for ourselves? Are we here to create memories for our kids? You know, are we here to bless the lives of others and make their lives better, right? And just live a full servant, kind of a servant life. You know, there's all those paths that people can take where they go, it's not really about me, right? It's about serving others. And that's the profession you're going into is like, dude, I've never really like directly saved a life as far as I know, right? Yeah. But I mean, that's a trip about the medical profession is like, you're going to step in and like, you might just plug the right hole one day and save somebody, you know?
It's the goal, right? I mean, it's like,
what a wild thing to think about.
Being a mechanic, right? Of like, but I think, you know, and it's like, I'm trying to understand and I'm trying to commit as much as possible to that. I only have so much time to commit everything to my kids. But what is the right thing to commit to the kids?
Well, dude, and also like
is that time?
Well,
or is that being able to, you know, financially put them in a place in 10, 12 years that sets them up a different opportunity? Or is it like teaching them to go gain that opportunity on their own? I don't know.
That's an interesting thing
like,
we tell ourselves sometimes as parents, as dads or moms, but like
kind of generalizing. But you know what I'm saying? Like that
from 6 to 8, you know what I mean? Like do like, you know, 14s, right? But I'm doing it for the kids.
Yeah.
But it's like, they don't, like, they're not going to ever remember the money, but they're going to for sure remember you being gone. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's, we can tend to kind of lie to ourselves a little bit because as a father, you know, that kind of provider part of you that goes like, here's what I'm supposed to do for my family. And I think we can convince ourselves that we need to do that. Right. And they don't really need that. I've told so many dads, like, you want to be a good dad, sit on the ground, fucking sit down. Right. Especially with young children, sit on the ground where they're at and whatever they're playing with, play with it. Yeah. It's Legos. You're making Legos today. You know, like that will like, you just watch once Nathan goes to school and he starts to like, you know, draw a picture of what you do with your father, you know, and then he'll come back. I've told this story on the podcast where I took Courtney fishing like twice. And then like for like 6 months, I go fishing with my dad, you know, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
I took her, it was 3 or 4 times. I was kind of addicted to, we were like this golf course. And there was this bass, dude. Like we had hooked this guy, probably a different bass, but dude, he'd broken off like 4 times.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, it was more about me at that point than it was the kids. But I'm like, this bass and me and him, like I got beef with this freaking bass now. You know what I mean? We never caught him.
And I think that brings up a couple of things of like, hopefully you're mixing those times. Yes. Right, building memories for yourself, building memories for your family, and I think it comes down to that family, right? Your immediate family. It's like if I made this is my priority. It's like we're close, but I'm
not your priority, bro. Like your kids, damn sure better be your priority, you know.
And so, and I you know, I don't know. It's just kind of in a spot where I just think a lot, and it's like that map I have to make too.
Yep.
No matter how much I want to download the blueprint and follow it and be like, I will do it to the maximum.
Yeah.
And ball out at this. Yeah. I have to create that blueprint and then ball out. And so, and I don't know what that means exactly, but it's just, I don't know, figuring out that exact time. And I don't know what it is, right? It's working. And I've always taught, you know, like the military side of it was just like, you know, and I've probably heard this from Jocko, right? It's like men have been going off to war and leaving their families for forever, thousands of years.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just how it is. And I think that's good for them to see too.
Sure.
So, but also
but he
like.
has to say that.
Yeah.
Because that was his life.
Yeah.
You know? And
but
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
But it doesn't mean.
But also like, I'm not going out to war. So it's like, what am I going at? It's like, it's hard to explain that to a kid. And then you were talking about just sitting down and playing with whatever. Cause it's like, and I'm struggling with this. I'm bad. Right. But it's like, you know, you finish an event or a planned thing. It's like, hey, it's like I'm earning my number one dad cup right now, right? Like I put my time, my effort in, and I'm joking about this, but it's like that idea of like, this is sick. I've put time, effort, we're doing this. And then it's like, you walk in the door and it's like, can we go ride bikes with, the kids? I thought I just did.
Oh, dude, like when you'll be like on a fun thing and they'll be asking what's next. And you're like, you gotta be kidding me.
And I'm not doing a good job of handling that because it's like, where are we at in life? And
well, bro, okay. So when you grow up like we did a little bit, like a thing that triggers me pretty bad.
As a kid, it's like, that's a great thing.
It is a great thing. But when they start to feel entitled to you, it's hard for me because I'm like, dude, you guys, you've been given everything.
Very hard.
You've been given everything and you're still complaining, a little shit. You know what I mean?
And as a kid, it's like,
you know how many times I went on an airplane as a kid? 0. How many vacations we went on? 0. How many times did we go camping? 0. How many times did we go to a restaurant? 2. I still remember it. You know what I mean? I still remember my order from the time we went to a restaurant that wasn't McDonald's, And it's like, you're a kid.
And this might be like a shitty take, but like, why does Skid Row exist, right? It's because like, as a kid, you're developing, as a young human, you're developing, you're like, well, this is fucking awesome. I want more of this. I want more of this. I don't want that other stuff.
No.
Who puts their laundry away? I want more bike riding.
Yeah.
And I'm,
too,
drugs and how we take things too far as humans, right? I mean, it's evident.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to have a good time just as much as anyone, and you got to learn where that line is. But I don't know, as a kid, it's like, I guess you got to learn where that line is. And I think it's important as a parent of like, I don't know, we have to draw a line here somewhere, but also like, I have to understand that you're just life is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And the goal is for me to make it as awesome as possible and for them to want more awesome things.
Yeah.
So how could I be mad at them for wanting more awesome?
And it's probably just time with dad. You know what I mean? They just want to know, like, am I going to get more time with dad? Right? Because they don't know that it's going to, you're there forever, right? As long as you're here, you're there. But I mean, dude, it's funny you said the thing about like, who wants to put away laundry?
Yeah.
But that goes back a little bit what we were talking about before around like, I'm very much like, me, like I'm kind of a uniform guy with my clothes. There's not a lot of variation, right? My closet is.
I did, we haven't talked about it yet, but.
We are matchy today, black on black. But like, this is kind of how I roll. Like a black t-shirt or a black polo. Yeah. For the most part, and a couple pairs of shorts, a couple pairs of pants. Like I have a really limited selection in my closet because I just don't want to have to think about it, And it goes back to the truck and getting ready and priorities and going like, one of my priorities is definitely not like dressing up for my day. I don't give a shit, like, is it good enough for y'all to think I'm here showing up ready for work or whatever it is? But that's something that I've done. I think a lot of people do is like, it's that decision fatigue. It's you got too many things in the garage, too many things in the closet. Like I got a buddy I bought a rifle from, our boy Nate, and he's like, once you get into this custom rifle thing, you're going to get addicted. You're going to have a bunch. And in my mind, I was like, I don't see that for me. I'm kind of like a one good rifle guy. Yeah. One good shotgun guy, I just want to have the thing I know, and I'm really good at running it because I don't have the time or the margin or the brain power to learn multiple different rifles, or multiple different whatevers. I'm just kind of like, I want to have my one thing. I got my one fly rod. I cast it pretty damn well. That's not true. I have a fly rod for every scenario that I cast fairly well.
And I think there's like, I don't know, this is just spinning the wheel, but it's like I want to be, I don't know, do you ever play like the headstone game or yeah, I don't know how to explain that more, I guess, but it's like
it's like the Robinson Upton, who one person on this podcast, I don't know who that is, but he died rock climbing the year before I got to Colorado State, or a couple of years before I got to Colorado State.
Okay.
And they made a Robinson Upton case, and they had an award. You could win it if you were like a good student athlete, whatever.
Okay.
And my sophomore year of college, I'm looking at this case, and there's all his shit, all the Robinson stuff. There's a discus and his weight belt and some other of his kind of personal stuff, a pair of shoes and some other things and some stuff people had written, I think, about him. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, if I died tomorrow, what would they put in my case? you know? And at that point, I'm a sophomore in college. It's like, okay, there's some Playboys under my bed,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this, but like, I was like, I'd be pretty ashamed if that's what went in my case.
Oh.
You know? Because they would just go to my room. They'd look around. Let's take some of Brian's shit and put it in a case. And so it's like, okay, you go to my room, then what you see physically, that was a representation of what my priorities were then, you know?
Did that make you a bad, like, 19, 20-year-old at the time?
No, I have a lot of grace now for that kid.
Yeah, but I do think, like, as a 35-year-old, as a,
Right.
like, yeah.
Right. I've done
There's a lot
job.
more, like, quote-unquote, like, Playboys in the closet that you, like.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to be like, those aren't a part of my life anymore.
Sure.
But I think also just the normal dude deals with, like, I don't know.
Looking at boobs more than he should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's an easy one.
Yeah.
You know, my generation a little bit more than you. Video
You guys had
games,
digital
like,
stuff, dude. Like, I had to go old school.
and it's like, I don't know. I mean, you saw it with your kids, and I see it with my kids and tablets and a phone. And my 7-year-old works an iPhone better than me, which is, I think, a
can go to
good thing
Netflix
ultimately.
today
But
and see more raunch,
well,
more, you know,
and just
what would be pornographic
yeah.
on Netflix than what I was looking at in those Playboys.
Yeah.
And it's a click of a button away.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like
That's
that,
even
and it's
a
there.
crazy thought, to
Right.
me.
And so, I mean, it's not the thread you were pulling on, but it's like,
Yeah.
So, but I mean, no, dude, I mean, it's,
That's but that one's a crazy one to think about. Your son and, you know,
the stuff they've been
how
exposed
my
to.
son will, because it was like decently fucked up for I don't know. I think I went into high school in 2005, you know, and
Yeah.
it was a pretty, you know, I don't know, it was a pretty wild world, and now it's even crazier in that whole world.
It's absolutely crazy, and this and the what's acceptable and what looks normal, and you know what I mean. Those kids and just how
and just it takes so much of your energy and time,
dude.
like just boobs and your phone and porn, but like video games or sports or movies or
What would you tell that kid, like the kid that was drinking like 800 Dr. Peppers and playing video games? Do you remember me telling you, like, dude, pick up a guitar? Do you remember me telling you that? I was like, Tyrel, if you would just play the guitar for half the time you're playing video games, like, I'm just telling you, you're sitting around a campfire, a bunch of girls, like, this is going to be good for you.
I think it just I don't know. This is a thread, I guess. It's like can you take a horse to water and make it drink? And it's
You can
just
lead a horse
like
to water, but you can't milk it, right?
yeah, you can't milk it, right? Yeah, and you just I don't know. Can you write that? Can you write that future? Is your kid? Is your whoever that figure is? Is it kind of destined for them to figure that out on their own? And
yes,
not the outcome destination or the final form of that person is predestined.
Yeah.
But for them to figure that out on their own and their avenues and the doors they're going to go through and what's going to slap them in the face and what's going to bring them up and all those things and what's going to make them feel emotions, I don't think you can ever.
Yep.
And yeah, I would love to be guitar guy on a campfire. Are you kidding me, dude?
That's what I'm saying.
But it's like, so I can't snap my finger and pound my foot at the same time. I can't hold, like, but if I started at a certain age, I probably could have figured that out at some level.
Yeah. So you flip it on its head and you go, okay, you go back to that 70-year-old version of you and you go, what would 70-year-old Tyrel, I know for one, he'd be like, dude, just save like $300 a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that hard compounding interest, right? But
like Logie, I get you're going into a fucked up world.
Yeah.
But if you start right now, you could be ahead of your.
Like, dude, he's a better investor than I am. I should just double down on whatever he does. His little investment account, because he's such like a tech nerd, dude. He's like all these things he's invested in. Like, I'm like, dude, he's like up like 200% this year.
That's
you know,
so awesome.
It's crazy.
And it's like, don't stop that, right? But he's got to learn that on his own, kind of, right? Like, you didn't start him on that.
No, I really didn't. No, that was mom and grandpa, and
Yeah.
and all that. Like, and he, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he listened to somebody 100%, right? We always talk about it. Like self-made, right? What is self-made? I don't believe in it.
No such thing, bro.
I don't believe in it. I think there's people out there who probably really grinded on their own.
Yeah.
And got some places, but I think they grinded really hard to find some opportunity and take some. It's just we're humans. We need people. We need connections.
Well, I've always said it's like a baseball, dude. Like you, of course, there's home runs on occasion, but for the most part, it's base hits.
Yeah.
Right. So you get yourself first, second base.
Yeah.
And it takes the rest of the team to get you around the rest of the plate. Right.
Your 2 solo homers is an awesome day.
It's
but
really
if you give
rare.
up 3 runs, you lost the game.
Exactly. And so I think for the most part, we can get on the first base by ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. But like the rest of life, I think it takes a team. I've always been really lucky to put people around me that like support me. Our brother Adam, who is like kind of the other half of my brain, could not have done and accomplished what we've accomplished without him.
Yep.
Right. But, yeah, man, I don't know where I was going with that, except for it's constant in my mind. Yeah, dude. I'm always thinking like, okay, what can I do? What would future me, how do I help future me without sacrificing current me and giving up too much? Because there's all those people, you don't have to look very far to find somebody that goes, he worked till retirement, retired 2 years later, got cancer and died, And so it's like, how do you put like little mini retirements or mini adventures? Tim Ferriss talks about this, having like mini retirements, and there's, sabbaticals and some of that stuff out in the world. But for the most of us, that's not a real thing. You can't just take off a year. I'm going to go sabbatical.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to wherever, Well, and you really should, right? Because it's just like, I mean, how much of this money, right? You set up money. What is money, right? Like, how much can you take with us? What's it for? There's 2 young kids that work for us, and they were kind of asking me those questions because they're helping work on all the properties, and they're asking. I know what they're asking, right? They're kind of asking like, how much money you got? You know what I mean? Are you going to go live?
They want that.
You're
going
to go live in Telluride someday, and I'm like, I ain't never living in Telluride. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm going as hard as I need to go until I can afford sharp arrows and sharp hooks for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Like that is really all I need. Right. I need some food and I need some housing, and I have a wife, so she has things she needs.
100%.
But I mean,
it's
for
not
me,
that simple, but yeah.
like, I mean, I could spend 7 days a week.
Yeah.
With one of those 2 things in my hand, and I might get tired of it. I would sure like to find out.
Yeah, I think so. I think ultimately we got on this with the headstone stuff, and it's just like an easy one for me to go to is just like, I want to do it all. I want all the cake.
Yeah.
I want all the pie.
Yeah.
And I know I can't have it now.
Yeah.
But like I want it, right? Like Mike Rowe is my hero. Like dirty jobs. Like I want to do all the jobs.
Yes.
But I don't want to do jobs forever. No. I don't want to grind it for you, the man or whoever, or myself even, right? Like I don't want to put in 20 years.
Yep.
Like that's a lot of sacrifice on the back end of something.
Well, that happens with everything. Like I was talking to Burke the other day, and I was just like, dude, there are seasons where I walk into the weight room here, and the smell of the fucking bumper plates makes me want to chuck one through a wall.
Just immediately.
The smell, because I've smelt it for basically my whole life, dude.
That smell,
30 years.
You also get to obtain that smell on a level that I won't, right? Like you achieve that and you grew, and so it's like where I just want to go through more doors. It's like I will never get to that level. So the level in life is like, just always be kind of.
And it's just, they just don't ever go. But like you lift them and you lift them and you lift them and you lift them.
But I always want,
you come back and they're the same next day. It's like, here we go. And the second you stop, you start just degrading. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's an exhausting relationship with your body. And it's also the coolest relationship ever, because if I do it and you don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, like you start to really see it in 65-year-old, 75-year-old men, guys that are still getting to go experience, for me, what will be like, can I go throw a fly at a tarpon when I'm 70,
Okay. Weight room aside.
Yeah.
Because weight room, I think, encompasses kind of that physical, like,
it's different.
We agree that, like, if you got to move it. and whatever that is for you, and you should always take it a little bit harder and harder.
Yeah.
And if you're older, it shouldn't get easier.
No.
It should get
But it's
harder. I
just
think
different weights,
sweat
right?
more.
Like,
Less weight, sweat more, make it hurt.
Yeah.
It'd be like, fuck that hurt.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
my father-in-law was helping me lay some sod. We actually got to see you and bump in and PK, you know, and it was, I fucking loved it, dude. Just like all day, couple, you know, we're laying sod and he's getting after it. And we got a couple of those days, right? Of him coming and busting it. But, you know, getting up and just like not sore from, you know, not complaining about working, but just like, that hockey. I played so much hockey, you know, I just went down, I picked up and, you know, it wasn't even playing league, but just picked up with some young guys, played a bunch of hours of hockey, and now I'm sore. And it's just like, yes, dude.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Yep.
But I don't know where I was going with that, but that just pumped me up of just like, we got to keep, we just know that's got to keep moving. So with that,
outside of that,
with the physical aside though, it's like the getting, okay, so the being able to put your fly where you want to when you're 60, without maybe putting in black belt effort throughout it, because in 5 years you really like, I don't know, fill in the blank. And I don't think fishing will ever leave that. And maybe that's not a good example for you, but it's just like, back to the hunting, right? Like you're like, every guy's like, yeah, that's how I am every time, right? It's like, I'm not, right?
Yeah.
Like, what were we doing recently where it was like, pack like you're going hunting? Oh, you guys were.
Oh yeah, we were doing some commercials for
okay,
RuckList.
so it's like, me pack like I'm hunting. My clothes from September are still in a trash bag in my shed that I need to wash still.
That's
and
awesome.
like I'm gonna wash those, and this is 3 years in a row that this kind of method has
happen
been
every
happening.
year. Yep.
And like I'm not getting new clothes, and they're gonna work great. And it's like I don't know. I'm not prepared.
You know what's
I'm
funny?
not gonna
And
stop
not to,
hunting.
like,
and
plug-
then saying that is like, well, hunting is more serious, and I should take that, you know, and
It
we
is
don't
what
want
it
to
is
find
to
our
you.
situations like this. And I haven't
Yes,
found myself, you know, I've let one arrow go with a bull now.
Yeah.
But I don't know, right? And so that's not the right life to live either. But it's also like I do a lot of shit in life, and
Well, what
I'm
are you trying
trying to
take from hunting,
conquer
though?
the
Like,
world.
What do you like? I think it's important at some point, because I had to do this in fly fishing, is sit yourself down and go, what is this? What is this giving me? What bucket is this filling? And be aware of it. And it allows you to let go of everybody else's bullshit, because as you watch videos or influencers or whatever the hell else it is, they're filling a bucket, or they're more than likely they're just trying to get followers or whatever, right? So, but I think for you with hunting, like, have you ever taken the time to go like, what is this doing for me? What part of me, what part of my soul is this feeding? Because then it allows you to detach from all of it, and you go, cool, the clothes in the trash bag it's fine, because I can function that way and still accomplish the goal or fill the bucket or do whatever I need to do. And I can do it in that fashion.
Yeah, I think I think it's accepting that's me, and that's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
And
You might
last
like
September
that last-
was
you might like
fucking
that last
perfect
minute
for
adventure.
me, right?
Yeah,
Like, and it like. I don't know. I think we've had this conversation. It doesn't get better than last September. I want more of it.
Yeah. So does it,
But
so does
also,
it matter that
like,
your
my
shit's
clothes
still in
don't need to
trash
be
bags?
clean. No, because I don't need them till
So then
September.
it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So then let it go, because you're comparing yourself to Joel or whomever.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
well, and then
that they've got their
my
stuff
next
dialed
statement was
and-
that was like, eventually, I guess what that leads me to is the worst case scenario would be like he doesn't call me to go hunting anymore,
Yeah.
right? Because I wasn't
You didn't
showing up.
prepared enough.
Well, yeah, I didn't show up in the moment the way I was supposed to, which then, you know, you could fill in the blank why I wasn't there in the moment.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't rep it. I didn't shoot my bow enough. Like,
Yeah. Well, I think there's part of that too,
or
because there's
my clothes stunk.
there's the brotherhood component that comes to
Letting people down. And
the hunting part or the fishing part, and you have to kind of you do have to do a minimum that kind of says, okay, you're welcome to come here because you're prepared enough. I've got people that they'll probably never come hunting with me again because they weren't prepared, you know? And I'm like, you're a liability, bro. Like this is you know, in no way prepared, right? Like not just dirty clothes, but dirty fitness. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's all encompassing, right? And
so you can have
only you can look in the mirror when that moment hits of like, why am are my boots bad?
Right.
Or did I not hit the stair climber?
Right.
I'm not a stair climber
maybe
guy, but you know what I mean?
Like 4 areas, right? And it's like this wheel that is like where it's the quadrants, and you go, okay, you got to be 85% in 2 of the quadrants. You can be 50% in 1 of the quadrants, and maybe 30 to 40 in the other. You know, and so you go, okay, my fitness,
you're making my player on NBA 2K.
You're like 90. You're 90% in the fitness, which is great. You know, we at least know if you get yourself in trouble because you got shitty boots on, you're willing to put up with your own bullshit. Because like I've had to do that so much in my own life. It's like
100%.
If you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough. Right. That saying. So it's like I'm aware of myself. Like I'm dumb in some areas, but it's like you know what? I can tolerate my own shit, and I just it's like right now, like if I'm flipping a house, it's like you got to have room in the budget for when you screw up, right? And it's the same with you with like the hunting thing. It's like you got to have room in the budget, in your hunting budget, for when you mess up. So it's like, okay, I messed up on my food. I forgot fuel. I'm willing to eat.
Yeah.
I'm willing to just dump some water and a peak, and I'm willing to eat it cold. Cool.
Yep.
Problem solved, right?
Yep.
But if you can't, if you're not,
if you crumble at those,
if you crumble at that, then you're not gonna. Then you're done. And so it's like you might not be prepared, but I know you're willing to hike back off the mountain and back up again in the same day.
Yeah.
And so
100%.
Then you're good. Problem solved, right?
Yeah. And if I'm by myself, it doesn't matter.
Then it doesn't matter at all.
Because then I come back a week later and I'm like, fuck, I had to go off the mountain. I had to go get my fuel and I had to come up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then with the
homie,
homie.
Super good that way too. Because I've had that same thing, man, where you're just like, your shortcomings, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're like, it just creates more suck.
Yeah.
You know, but like, or you miss a hunt, so you got to go. I've done that. Like, I didn't take enough water in.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I've got a 2-mile hike to go refill my water, climb back up to camp, and I'm going to miss a morning hunt or an afternoon, whatever it is, right? But it's on me. It's my issue. But I think the point was like knowing what your priorities and what it does for you. Like, what's your goal when you're out there hunting? What's your goal when you're out there fishing? So like for me, like my goal, fishing. We went last week, and I for sure could have caught a ton more fish. Oh, you're spilling all over yourself.
It's all
I
everything
just
too.
heard beer and you're falling apart on me.
I don't drink beer.
I know. I don't either. 3's going to be the absolute max. And I got to finish watching that movie with my daughter tonight.
I know. I thought about that. I was like, why did I crack that?
Because
so delicious.
They're delicious. Is this
delicious.
Is this the Kelsey brothers? Is that how you say their name?
It's someone in Ohio. I don't think it's them. It's
I thought that dude that gave me the beer said it was like those guys, but maybe not.
I mean, they're Ohio Cats. They're football cats. I want to say it's some Buckeyes though, and not the Kelseys, but I could be wrong.
Dude, but you can get these things in a 5-gallon bucket.
I think we're like the General Bobby Carpenter has something to do with this, and I don't know if you have.
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah. Ohio State would have been 2005, 4 era. They had long hair. Pat Tillman had just probably got killed.
Yeah.
There was a pretty epic Ohio State run there, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why I think these are Ohio guys.
But what like I think that it's important as as guys are listening and going like, what does the hunting or the fishing or I was getting at, we were on a river. I could have caught a ton more fish, just throwing the bobber, throwing midges and nymphs or whatever subsurface, right? For you guys who are listening that know. But dude, the fish were eating on like a stonefly, which they never do on this river. And I was like, I don't care if I catch 2 fish today.
Yeah.
I want to see that fish eat that big old foamy, And so bottom line was I knew there from doing it a lot that like, this is what's going to fill me up today, that. And so I think for you for hunting, like just because I know exactly where you're at, but it's like, dude, well, what is hunting for you? What is it doing for you? And that's all it is, right? Yeah. You don't have to do it like everybody else does it, and you go, this does it for me, right? Like, it does it. I had a buddy that was like, I was rowing over on the river years ago, and my buddy Aaron, I love him, and it's like, he was like, out of love, he was trying to coach me to row better. And I was like, bro, I know I suck at this, and I'm out here because I want to suck at this. Like, I don't want to be good at this. Like, my whole life I have to be good at something. It was right. I was still training, and it's like everything was about like trying to be like fucking perfect, like everything analyzing perfect. Your left toe, you know what I mean, or whatever. And it was just like, I want to go do something I know I'm going to suck at, and it doesn't matter. And that's what I needed from it, right? And so I think it's just really important for us guys, like, don't just go keep doing shit and doing shit and doing shit and doing shit because people say you should. You know what I mean? But it's like, maybe hunting looks different. Maybe you take a fly rod. Maybe you take a little painting easel. I'm stretching now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or a journal or a sketchbook or whatever. 100%. You go, I don't know if I'm going to kill anything. I'm out here.
You make a whole portrait off of your little alto camp.
Sure enough. Or maybe it's about how you set up your camp. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just about the time around the fire with your buddies.
And I think that goes back to like, when is it like, this isn't for me either?
Sure.
And I'm okay with
this
that.
style of hunting.
Or just
hunting in general.
Whatever.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be hunting, right? And it's like,
I know, I'm just in.
Yeah. Hunting's a little bit more of a 100%. Commitment. And I think you're going to find yourself a little bit more invested. And like, so for hunting, for me also, you know, I have a lot to learn and a lot more to dive into on a whole scale. But it's also, I can kind of have my clothes in the trash bag in the shed because my other 11 months are tailored towards it also.
Like I said,
so my other hobbies,
95% in that fitness quadrant, you can get up and down any mountain with pretty much anybody you need to get up and down with.
Yep.
You're tough. You don't bitch about stuff. So you're like, cool, throw the pack on. I'll get up there.
So it allows me to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I made some mistakes along the way that I've learned from to like, that I won't do again.
Sure. You know? But I do think that
my dumb ass, future me will not ever suffer from
future
that
me.
Again.
But I do think, like, if we're talking about hunting specifically, there is the requirement that out of respect for the animal that we've done enough shooting, right? Well, there's kind of non-negotiables there.
Yeah.
Right. Water,
and
food,
I think enough. It starts and that one's a tough one for me because with anything I think there's levels to it, right? In the archery part of it, it was like it started with shooting a bow.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up hunting, right? Nope. And so it was watching you guys shooting the bow in the backyard to like, okay, that looks fun. I want to shoot the bow in the backyard. And then it was like, okay, now we're going to go hunt with it. And so that one is like, I guess part of it of like, you have to you have to master the weapon. And I also got into archery in the time when I was in the military. So I was kind of in the process of not being a good marksman per se, but being trained, right? Like I always say, like I'm trained more than most of the people on the earth of just how to deal with weapons on a level. Right. And I've just got to be trained. Yeah. Right. Well, where before there's a lot of people walking this earth that have an AR-15 that just
never shot it.
You know, just don't know the fundamentals of shooting and a trigger pull and you know, and those kind of things. And that's fine. But it's just, you know.
Right. But I think that, you know, as you were talking about like us shooting the bow in the backyard as kids, like for me, hunting is that. Like I want to go out and feel like a little kid. Like that's for me. Like I want to go into the woods with a bow in my hand and just walk around, you know. And I want to sit by a fire and sleep in a tent. And it just is like whatever it is that will help me feel like a little kid. If it's too serious and it's got to have this many points or it's got to be this big or it's got to be, you know what I mean? All that. Like I'm just not in for that, man. Like I'm not. Like, and it doesn't have to be a certain. It is always hard. The hard will take care of itself. You know, I don't need to create that. But like for me, I want to feel like a little kid.
You're building the fort out in the woods, and
oh, dude. So many forts.
And that's where it's like, you know, we were joking about it last year as we were sucking ass on the side of a mountain, but it was like, it's kind of a serious thing. It's just like, why am I carrying a bow? Just carry a camera. I got what I wanted. I'd have a perfect shot here. Yeah. I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be sitting here sad right now. I'd still get all the physical craziness I need. You know, I just, you know, it's 6:28 now and you know, 17 minutes ago, I was fucking way over there. Yeah. And I'm very proud of where I'm at. Yeah. maybe I moved too fast.
Maybe.
And now,
Yeah,
you know,
totally blew it
but
up. Yep.
it's you know, I don't know. There's just yeah, it's that kid. Like you're just doing something that just.
Yep.
And I we say it a lot, but it's just like there's just land that you just can't get to. Just people don't get to go see unless you go and venture. And this is the excuse.
Yeah.
To really get there.
Yep.
And it's like, why do we run a long ways? I don't know. We all hate running, I think. But we get to go some really cool places on our feet.
Yep. Yep.
Really cool places on our feet.
For me, after being kind of when I thought I was done in 2012 and starting to run, I was like, I've never taken myself someplace really of any real distance on my feet. You know what I mean? Like of just like running somewhere. You know, and I was like, what a crazy thing it is to go like, I'm going to go 13 miles that way, which to you guys is nothing, but to me,
it's a huge
might have been
distance,
a million
though.
miles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, 13 miles growing up takes us from like where we lived to school, you know, like, which was a 20-minute drive.
Areas. Yep.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
you would never think of riding your bike that far. And now it's like, any road ride's 13 at the minimum, right?
And then it's like you look at a map and like, oh, I'm running from this little town to this little town. It's like, oh, that's gangster.
Yep, absolutely.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's
and
just,
hunting's the same way. It's just like you just don't get those mornings. You don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You get to see all the sunrises, dude. Every one of them, and every sunset. And it's like
and it doesn't matter what your
sets their
clothes
clock.
are like.
And it really doesn't matter actually at all what your clothes are like.
They might be in a trash bag all year.
They can be. I mean,
it's like fermenting. I think the Back East boys, right? They like keep their clothes in trash bags with piss and stuff.
You
right?
smell like something. Yeah. But probably not like a human, you know?
I don't have a plan. It's just pure laziness. I will
go home and wash your
They just
clothes.
came back a little dirty and then it didn't get, you know.
Just go wash your clothes tonight. Just go put them in the wash. That's not
now
happening.
It's not going to happen.
Just out of rebellion. You're like,
Yeah, because I don't need
now.
those clothes.
Yeah.
They have one job. And I don't have a bunch of clothes either. So it's like I have one set of clothes.
You have one set of hunting clothes, and they'll get busted back out late August this year.
Yeah.
Where are you going hunting? Before we wrap up, where are you going hunting this year?
I don't have any plans in stone.
Antelope.
Yep, I want to. I just got preference points in everything this year. And so, dude, we'll do over the counter antelope.
Over the counter archery.
And school really fucks with this stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that kind of looks like. But yeah, hopefully 2 weekends of chasing antelope.
Yep.
And then, I don't know what the elk looks like, but
you'll get out.
Probably quick solos.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah.
Probably a strip of 2 days and just see what we can do.
Yep. What happens if you shoot something on a solo? Are you comfortable cutting it up?
No.
Yeah. You can't really mess it up. It's just more about like how much hamburger you have.
I would like to say that no is a joke and like no. I say no because it's a fucking really big fear.
Dude,
It's
there's a lot of guys that I'm
fear
sure
that I
are
have.
fine by themselves, but I think that 99% of the population that hunts, cutting up an animal by yourself is a wildly intimidating thing, especially a big elk. It is hard. It's really hard.
I'm very confident.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to get it done.
Yep.
But it scares the fuck out of me. I don't know how to say it any other way than that.
Yeah.
Legit. I mean, I don't know what the season is. I think I say a different number every year, but like I think I've tried to hunt elk for 6 seasons, 5 or 6 seasons.
Yeah.
And the last couple that I've done more solo. I mean, I'm still like watching, YouTube videos of chopping down an elk while I'm like driving.
Download one on the
driving up the mountain, and I do have one downloaded. And it's so am I learning anything new in that video? No, but I'm just scared. I don't know. Yeah. And so that's how I handle things.
It's a lot.
Like I'm going to be, but with anything, like, I don't know, I'm dumb enough to,
again, it's just a matter of how much
dumb
hamburger you
enough,
have, dude. Like your steaks might turn into hamburgers. It is what it is. You get the meat off the bone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think, it's just mostly like, I have, I guess, enough experience, enough experience to like, I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's mostly like the physical aspect of it, of like, can I nut up when I need to like really nut up?
100% you will.
Like,
But that's kind of why you're out there
I
too.
know.
Like, do I have it? Do I have what it takes?
And then it's just like right now I know the mentality is like I will suffer better than most. So
yeah.
you know, if it all goes my worst case scenario in the Army, okay, this is fun. We can do this real quick.
Yeah.
This is a fun exercise. We used to catastrophize. And I don't know the acronyms anymore but this was part of like our resiliency training. And so we would catastrophize. And this is like a classroom, right? And so this is like, no one wants to do this. This is like, 4:45 on a Thursday afternoon that they walk into the office and like, we're doing resilience training. You know?
Oh, no.
Like, but anyways, catastrophe. I love this. This is one of my favorite things. It's like, okay, if I'm so worried about it, let's just break this down. The worst scenarios. Let's just literally the worst. And it's like, what am I stuck out there for 12 hours? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I can do that.
He dies in a river.
Yeah. That fucking sucks so bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're going to figure this out. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Where is he at in this river? Can I get him out on my own?
No.
Like, is it possible?
You need rope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we're getting cell phone service, right?
Yeah.
We're getting a
That's where you get
message out.
service.
It's going to be my first elk ever. So am I going to let that cloud my excitement?
No. Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Try not to.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I know I haven't done the shittiest thing in my life yet, but I've done enough shitty stuff that I'm not worried about the shittiest thing that's going to come.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get worse. I'm going to get weaker. I'm going to get softer.
Yeah.
It's going to get harder.
Yeah.
Something's going to get harder in my life.
Yep. Yep.
But I don't know. We just keep answering the bell. I don't know, dude. It's just like,
oh, I agree, dude.
Shit sucks. But YouTube, I don't know. This scares me a lot. I think about that one a lot.
Yeah. But
And then it's just like, what are you going to do? You're just going to suffer really, really hard.
Yeah. Well, and then you go to bed. You know, I've done it enough times where like you have hard days.
Yeah.
You go to bed and it's like.
And then it's like prioritizing,
up,
right? There's things that have to prioritize. It's not just like, so it's like, what am I doing to make sure this meat is the best? And then the scenario, if it dies in a river, I don't know, right? But it's like that A to F will happen.
Yeah.
And hopefully I hit those in the correct order as closely as possible, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to start moving forward. It's like I'm always going to take a step forward.
Yeah. Yeah. The do nothing thing is not a solution at all. Right?
No. And trust me, I will sit down and I will fucking, there's been a couple times in my life of like, there's no way. And take those 10 seconds, but you're going to move forward.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. I don't cry too often. And it's like those moments when I'm like, this is when I will cry, is like those moments when I feel like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right.
I don't know if I said that right.
Say it again.
Okay, so that moment of just like sitting down in complete defeat.
Yeah.
And like you can almost put yourself there, right? Probably right now and feel a little bit of that. And you're like, yeah, I'd probably shed a tear right there.
Yeah.
But when you're in that moment, it's not when you shed a tear.
Right.
But that feeling of complete defeat.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm beat. It got me.
But then there's like a little bit of like, I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
But I believe like that morning kick comes right after that.
Right. Right.
And you're like,
okay.
Right foot goes forward.
Yeah. Either do something.
It's always right foot. I don't know. For me, it's always right foot. But it's like that one goes forward and we just move on.
Yep.
And then maybe it might be like, I have to climb this mountain to get cell phone service.
And call my buddies. Call
and
my
then
brothers.
someone's going to help me to figure out what C is. But A to B is A is climbing up there. And B is finding cell phone
I'm dropping
service.
you a pin, bring some rope.
Yeah.
And a sharp
So,
knife.
and then it's not that hard at the end of the day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sick.
I don't know. But it scares me.
All right, dude. Good. Episode 52. For those of you that listened to an hour and 25 of this, we appreciate you. We love you tons. Sorry for who we are. We'll get some interesting people on. We got Bert. We got big Bert Soren on this week.
Yeah.
So he'll be our
really
first
fun.
episode of our second year. So I called him and said, hey, dude, would you, he's like, he's told me, he's like, well, come on anytime you want, you know, and I've been keeping him kind of back pocket because I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
So he'll be episode number 1 of year 2.
Yep.
Are you going to call it?
Ooh, didn't think about that. I'm
Episode
over all of it.
1-0?
If we could. We won't get into this.
We won't. Thank you guys for listening so much. Thanks for putting up with me and Tyrel. We wanted to be here just us for like the last episode of our first year. It feels super wild, man. It feels really
It's
wild.
not much, but I think it's something to be proud of, and it's something to just we did, and thank anyone who listens.
Absolutely.
Understand if you don't.
Yeah, I know.
But we are, at the end of the day, proud for at least just touching the bar. So
and super honor for those that do, man. It's a big deal, and we look forward to getting better this next year. You know, like really learning how to bring it, what's good and what's bad, and just they get to sit and watch us grow. You know, it's kind of a trip and change, and I'm sure 5 years from now we'll look back and like we were idiots.
Yeah,
and we said some dumb shit.
Yeah.
But thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate you on the RuckList podcast. The app is close. It is so close. We went through some final edits today, just stupid little things like I don't like the way this colors. Like, I want this checkbox to be square instead of round. And so it's at the App Store, just for iOS to start with, for all the Apple people. But we should have that out probably next couple weeks.
Sweet.
So hopefully it's usable. It is usable right now. It's just not exactly how we want it. And we can drop that gear in the gear garage. And I think it will help guys like you who...
My trash bag.
Your trash bag. Well, I'll
bag.
tell you what it helped me with this last time we did some commercials, quote unquote, which is, God help me, I was acting and it felt so stupid, dude. But what I found actually was, because I've used it my last couple times packing for hunts, that when I went to put my stuff away, I was more efficient, and I was because normally I'm like you, I'll have my stuff sitting in my gear bag, like my bags for like 3 months, like I'll get to it. But because I knew where everything was and where it went and kind of what was in my bag and just it had kind of been cataloged. Yeah, it was really easy to unpack. I was like, boom, this all goes, in the kitchen drawer. This all goes in like the gloves hats drawer. This is where my trekking poles go. This is where my stove goes. This is where my backpack hangs up. This is where this tote holds. Sleep system, this tote holds, camp system, tent and whatnot. And it just made it it just felt more efficient for me, who I'm super ADD, and my brain just doesn't like to think about that. It actually helped a ton. So we'll see. But anyway, RuckList, it's getting ready to be actually a thing soon, which is cool. So thank you guys for listening. Thanks for all the time and the energy and for our team hanging in there. Because it's like 4 years, and I'm watching some of the guys that have been with us from the start, and I can tell they are just sick of going, like pretending that it's out and pretending it's done, and like someday it'll be something. And so it's just cool that those guys have stuck with us for so long, to see this actually come. And I hope that it helps a couple people get out and do something cool this next year. So thanks for being on, listening to us, guys, and we'll see you next week with Big Bert.
Thank you, guys.
Bert. Thanks, guys.
See ya.